In the early 1950s, U.S. Army Major Martin Manhoff was stationed in the Soviet Union. He served as a military attache for more than 2 years. He was also an avid photographer, Major Manhoff taking hundreds of color slides and shooting reels of 16mm color film documenting life inside the Soviet Union, including the only known independent footage of Joseph Stalin's funeral in 1953. The neglected and forgotten film sitting in cardboard boxes for many years until our guest helped to identify them. Historian Douglas Smith is the author of the book, The Russian Job, The Forgotten Story of How America Saved the Soviet Union from Ruin. This is the funeral and the film of Martin Manhoff. What are we looking at?
So this is the morning of the 9th of March. What you're looking at on the right is the Hotel Moscow, and then to the left would be the House of Unions where the body had laid in state. And it's a view from the old U.S. Embassy out along the route that the cortege took up into Red Square to the mausoleum. Here we see Stalin. It's this strange glass bubble over the face of the corpse, and I still don't fully understand why that was. Maybe so they could prove that it was indeed Stalin who was inside, being marched off. And just behind him were all the top figures of the Soviet Union, Khrushchev, Beria, people like that, marching across Manege Square.
Explain this moment in the Soviet Union's history, the death of Joseph Stalin.
Well, this was a cataclysmic event, obviously, because he had, ruled the country since basically the late 1920s, had seen them, through industrialization, collectivization, World War II, a brutal tyrant. What's interesting about this film is that the whole center of the city had been cordoned off. So you get a sense of calm and a lack of people. But what's happening outside the frame are huge throngs of people that have flocked to Moscow because of the death and the funeral. And untold dozens, if not hundreds of people were killed in these crushes of people outside trying to get into the funeral space.